Welcome to Beneath the Surface with TJ Woodward and Rachel Kove. In a world that often moves quickly and stays on the surface, this is a space where we slow down and turn inward. Together, we explore what lives beneath our stories, our reactions, and the ways we've been conditioned to see ourselves, others, and the world. We dive into themes of recovery, trauma, identity, polarization, and conscious living. Let's begin. Welcome back to episode 8 of our limited series. We are calling it a limited series and also calling it season 1. If you want more, let us know and we'll see where it goes. But at this point, this is the final episode of the series, Rachel. And we're talking in this episode about spirituality. And we're going beneath the surface on spirituality. Obviously, it's one of my favorite topics and it's kind of the platform for my life's work. I'm curious, when you think about spirituality and taking a deeper dive and moving beneath the surface, what comes up for you?
What comes up for me is I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And what comes up for me is to be deeply spiritual, to be deeply human. And it's to learn to feel. And it's not dogma. And it's accepting our humanity while living in infinite knowingness of I'm the universe. I am one with the universe. Lately, I've been doing this new thing and I'm getting a lot out of it. So I've been in active trauma therapy for the last 4 years. EMDR, ketamine-assisted therapy, IFS, mindfulness practices, DBT. We've been doing all of it. I feel like a whole new person and I love who I get to be today. But when I started seeing her, I was in full-blown PTSD. I was having memories that were waking me up in the middle of the night. I was in fight or flight. I was terrified. And I was also having to go function in society with all of that going on and pretend I'm completely okay just to survive, right? While raising a kid, right? And I did a really good job. I just want to say that. And it's because of therapy and my friendships. But it was because of my commitment to my healing and my spirituality. And it's changed throughout the years. But I will say one thing I've been doing lately is really helpful. I used to be very dependent through codependency on needing people to fix my feelings. And lately, I have not been needing that. I've been needing to go to the park and lie down on the grass and put my nervous system against earth. And I visually think how big earth is. But then I think we're floating in space right now. The universe, we are floating in space right now. And I think about how big the universe is. And it helps me go, the universe can handle whatever I'm going through right now. Right? Because I've often felt way too much for people, still working on that, right? I feel things so intensely. I'm hypersensitive on a degree that is unreal. It's why I have to do art, right? I have a lot of emotions. I feel deeply. I think deeply. I analyze deeply. I do everything intensely, and I love that. It's also challenging in a world that lives pretty surfacey, right? So what I do is I go, well, wait a minute. If I come from infinite source and I'm one with infinite source at every moment of every day, and trauma has an ability to disconnect us from infinite source just by fear, at any moment, I can go remember truth. And I go and lie on earth and I lie down and I connect and I visualize to the fact that I am a human being on a floating earth in the universe, right? Anything I'm going through, the universe can handle. And I'm one with it. I'm one with it. And it really, when you ask me, like, what do I think about it? It's remembering that.
Yeah. It's not about moving towards something, but remembering the truth of who and what we are.
Yes.
And in a couple of my books, I've write about this framework that came to me about levels of consciousness. And I write about these 4 different levels of consciousness. And I'm not going to get into all of them other than I'll name them. martyr level of consciousness, magical thinking level, metaphysical level, and mystical. And mystical is at one with. And I use a lot of different examples in that framework, and one of them is this. At the first level, we are human beings having a human experience. At the second level, we're human beings having a spiritual experience. At the third level, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. When I reach the mystical level, I realize it's all spiritual. I'm a spiritual being having a spiritual experience. I shot up out of bed one morning and thought, it's all spiritual. And all the experiences that I've compartmentalized into this is my human part and this is my spiritual part became integrated in a way that's kind of hard to put into words, but I will do my best in putting into words. And that means that at this level of consciousness, the only way to talk is in paradox, because I have this seemingly separate self, and yet I know I'm one with, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have these moments like I did in India in 2006 where I only knew oneness.
Yeah.
I literally could not experience you as a separate being. And this lasted for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Of course, that sort of dissipated at some point, but the remembrance of that created a profound alteration in the way I saw myself in the world. And there was something about that allowed me then to start questioning everything. Because to me, true spirituality is questioning, as is true science. Even though a lot of people think science is having the answers, and a lot of people think spirituality is having the answers, also known as religion. And I'm not saying all religion says here's the answer, but most do.
Yeah.
It's a mental framework. It's a thought system. It's a belief system. What are your spiritual beliefs? I'm like, well, actually, that's not the important question to me, is what is my experience of myself as a spiritual being?
I love that. And the more I heal, which is to me restoring what I already know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what's fascinating is the simplicity and the power of what you just said.
Yeah.
Because an example is when someone comes to me after reading, I'll say Conscious Recovery, because I get that the most. They say, when I read Conscious Recovery, I realized I already knew all of this, but never had the words for it. Mm-hmm. That to me is the intention of me writing it. It's not to teach someone something, but to offer a space for their remembrance.
Yeah. And it's interesting because every religion has its own way of saying this. I when it comes to religion, there are negatives and there are positives.
Yeah.
And I think if I worship anything that's dogmatic, I'm going to come in contact with limitation. And I've studied the Bible. I've studied a lot. And again, believe what you want to believe. I really am not attached to it. It's okay if you believe that Jesus is your savior. That's not how I feel, and I'm okay with that. And I hope that you could be okay with that, because a lot of people that are religious claim this savior, right? But will immediately ostracize another human for not believing in your belief, right? And we're seeing this now. It's very common in politics. It's like, if you're not blue, if you're not red, if you're not what I am, if you don't get the vaccine, if you do get the vaccine, it's like, it's so dogmatic, right? But I'm going to come back to this. There's this parable that says, where there's two or more, there is I.
Yeah.
That to me is spirituality. When I'm attuned and present and I'm one with you, form disappears. This is form. Were you going to say something?
No.
Well, that's what it is. I like, when I'm here talking to you, I'm one with you. That's why I love talking to you, right? When you tell me how to be, I don't feel one with you. When you allow me to be, I feel one with you. Even if you disagree, but you're still like, you know what? I allow you to be. With children, 1 minute they think they're a dinosaur. Another minute they think they're a pig. Another minute they're worshiping action heroes. And the next minute they're worshiping Bluey. It's all okay. My job is to help them form what they already love and know and help them be comfortable in that. Does that make sense?
Oh, it not only makes sense, but you're touching reality. And in the work that you and I do, and we're very synchronistic in our work, having the privilege of working in behavioral health myself since 2008, and working with clients, and now more often working with clinicians, which really is to me the same, right? Because we're all the same doing our own healing.
Yeah.
The only difference is a client who's in treatment knows they need help.
That's genius.
I've never said that out loud, so there you go, everyone.
I'm glad you did. We all need help.
Right, exactly. But what you're talking about is true presence. And many people in our field have attempted to, they want me to create a box around conscious recovery that is like, here's how you do conscious recovery, boom, 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 boom. But what you're saying is actually what I'm really wanting to convey, and that is when I'm 100% fully present, form disappears. Now, I don't know what your experience is, but I don't really know that I can, well, that's not true because I do, but in the beginning, it was very scary for me to stand up at a behavioral health conference and say that.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because they wanted to say, you're going to identify this person's brain disorder and you're going to give them this exact thing to help them. And there's a place for that. But what we're talking about, is the spiritual aspect to all of life. And that is, there is truly no separation. It's that place of oneness. It's that place where things become pixelated. Like right now it's happening.
It is.
And like, there's no you that's separate from me.
Yeah.
And how on earth, or I'm going to say it this way, why on earth have I taken it upon me to try to demonstrate this for behavioral health? And I'll tell you why. I know my why. Because I see what happens.
Yeah.
I see lives transformed instantaneously, not by something I do, but by everything I don't do.
It's so true. And healers need healing. That's why I want all healers to work with your company, because healers are some of the most skilled at avoiding their own trauma. Yeah. And we are also living in a time where it's more culturally acceptable to talk about trauma. It's amazing, right? It's so incredible. And with all the research that people have done to make this happen, it's amazing, right? But there's also this thing that happens around like spiritual bypassing.
Exactly
right?
what I was going to say.
And also like, I don't even know what the word for it is other than like DSMizing. Like it's like, if you're a clinician and you're looking to diagnose someone, I get it. And again, there's a place, right? But if I'm looking for that diagnosis, then I'm putting you in a box, right?
Yeah, and I'm not fully present with you because the answer to life's questions reside within. And so if I have clinical arrogance to think that I'm the one with the answer, we are not in relationship. We are in a role.
Yes.
And if I'm in a role, and you named it so beautifully, and I'm actually doing a multi-part talk series with my friend, Dr. Patrick Lockwood. And one of the things we talk about a lot is from diagnosis or from pathology to possibility.
Yes.
And that's actually the theme of Emergence this year.
I love it.
Moving beyond pathology from pathology to possibility. And when we anchor in true presence, something happens that feels magic and it really isn't. Yeah, well, my favorite definition of the word spirit is to breathe. Yeah.
So we're all spiritual. If you're alive and you're breathing, then you're spiritual, right? Because right now there's so much disconnection, right? It's creating so much isolation, which is the opposite of connection, and humans thrive in connection,
Yes.
right? I'm not putting down doctors. There's a space for it. I'm not putting down diagnosing. There's a space for it.
Right.
I just know that for my own self, it's not really about the diagnosis. It's about the nervous system's reaction to trauma and stress. It is about a child growing up in a home of stress. It is about a child not having the proper amount of safety and not the proper amount of tools. And it's about someone that wasn't loved effectively and wholly and unconditionally, and weren't given the proper tools to navigate the complexities of being a human in modern day society, which is very complicated. And the other thing is, we need spirituality because we are spirits in this human body. We are going to feel starved and unfulfilled. I was thinking about the word fulfilled. It's full, it's filled. On what? I need something that's never going to change to feel full on within, because everything outside of me can always change. And I've went through it. When I left my husband and I left my family and got divorced, my whole identity was attached to that lifestyle. I died. I fucking died. And I'm so grateful for everything I walked through, right? But I needed something so deep within me to sustain me. And that's how I got through it. And it was my deep connection to spirituality. It was this deep knowingness that at every moment I am completely taken care of. I can feel the emotion. I can grieve. I can cry. I can scream. I can go to rage rooms. I can talk to my therapist. I can feel scared. I can go into the unknown. And I can do all of that because I'm completely protected by presence of this universal connection that's so powerful, that births humans. We birth each other. We create trees. We have the sun. We have energy. We're so powerful. And so I see the importance of diagnosing sometimes. And also, can we also look at how it's harmful? Can we just do both? And can we start creating a human experience where spirituality is part of the norm? And what if it's not about religion? And what if it is, right? Like, I was in a group, I'll end my talk with this, right? I was in a group one time it was, again, one of the most powerful groups I've ever run. We had a group of women. We had a group of men. In the group was a gay Hispanic man who went to a church that tried to turn him. It was a camp, I believe. I forgot what the name of it was. We had a black man in the room. We had a white ex-supremacist, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
With a Confederate flag tattooed on his back. We had straight people in the room. We had sex addicts in the room. We had drug addicts in the room. Because love was present, because we went in with the intention not to judge, we went in with the intention to understand. We went into the intention to go, what happened? Why do you feel this way? In any other room, that whole room would have turned into chaos. There was so much love present, and yet everyone came from backgrounds where they would call the other person racist, call the other person wrong because of their own beliefs, because of their own ideologies, because of how they were raised to influence, to think about that person, because of their skin color, because of their sexuality, because of their orientation, whatever. And yet somehow, because of the way I started the group, and I'm not saying that this is because of me. I'm just saying that I started the group with going, we're just going to be with love, right? We're not going to judge. And it was my presence of just, I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to let this be and see what happens, right? And by leading with love, by leading with non-judgment, by not telling them, hey, you have to think this way and you have to be different, they were all able to just relax.
Yeah. And what I want to say, because we are at closing, is just thank you. Thank you for that, because I think what you just shared is the essence of what it means to connect with and live from our spiritual essence. And it can become so simple, right? We tend to complicate these things, but the truth is we all came into the world as a spiritual being, as the essence, as the soul. And many of us have been programmed to not know that's who and what we are. And the journey, whether we call it recovery or a spiritual journey or a therapy or wellness journey, is all about remembering that truth. So thank you, everyone. I am so incredibly grateful, of course, to you, Rachel, for being here with me and co-creating this magical experience for these 8 short yet powerful episodes. And everyone, thank you for joining us. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me and your magic.
Thank you for joining us on Beneath the Surface. As we close, we invite you to notice what may still be resonating or unfolding within you. There's no need to resolve anything, just allow it to be met with curiosity and compassion. If this conversation was meaningful, please subscribe, share the episode, or leave a review. It helps others discover this space and continue the conversation. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, stay present, and keep exploring what lives beneath the surface.